Welcome to Stoic Habit Builder, the place where we learn to build inner strength, discipline, and peace of mind through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. In today's world, it's easy to get lost in stress, comparison, and disappointment. But here, we choose a different path, the path of calm, clarity, and steady growth. This channel isn't just about philosophy. It's about turning the teachings of Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus into practical tools. Tools you can use to face challenges with courage, to grow stronger in your daily life, and to step closer to the best version of yourself. So if you're ready to transform your life, not by chance but through discipline, wisdom, and purposeful action, then you're in the right place. Let's begin this journey together. Sometimes the biggest obstacle in life isn't the world outside. It is the decision you haven't made yet. Think about it. The gap between where you are right now and where you want to be isn't luck. It isn't perfect timing. It isn't even raw talent. The real barrier is whether or not you've decided to step up and claim the life you know deep down you're capable of living. And here's the truth. The moment you decide you are worthy of more, everything begins to shift. Not because the world suddenly gets easier, but because you change how you show up in it. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught something powerful. We cannot control external events, but we can control how we respond. That wisdom is just as true today as it was 2,000 years ago. You may not be able to control your boss, the economy, or the setbacks life throws your way, but you always have the power to choose your mindset. And that choice? It changes everything. That is why in today's video we were diving into one of the most transformative practices you can embrace. Acting as if you are the best. Not someday. Not when the timing is perfect. Not when you've achieved every milestone. But right now, in this moment. Now let me be clear, this isn't about arrogance. It's not about pretending you're better than everyone else. It's about raising your own standard. Deciding to carry yourself like the best version of you. Imagine walking into your day with the focus, discipline, and confidence of someone already at the top of their game. That energy changes how you think, how you act, and how people respond to you. Here's what most people get wrong. They wait. They wait for the right opportunity, the right break, the right feeling of being ready. But if you keep waiting, you'll miss your life. The Stoics remind us, the only moment we ever truly own is this one. And in this moment, you have a choice. You can either keep playing small, or you can step up and live as though you are already capable, already worthy, already enough. So if you're ready, stay with me, because we're about to explore how adopting this one mindset, acting as if you are the best, can transform not just your confidence, but your entire life. Part 1. The mindset to decide to become the best. The turning point in anyone's life always comes down to one decision. The decision to show up as your best self every single day. Not waiting for the stars to align. Not waiting for the perfect opportunity. But deciding right here, right now, that you're done holding back. Too many people are waiting for conditions to be perfect before they take action. They tell themselves, I'll start when I have more money, more time, more support. But the truth is, those perfect conditions rarely come. What changes your life is not the opportunity that shows up at your door. It is the choice you make when there is no guarantee of success, when all you have is your will. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, said it clearly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That wisdom is the foundation of true strength. You can't control the economy, the weather, or the people around you, but you can always control your mindset and your response, and that's where your real power lies. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled the most powerful empire of his time, reminded himself daily to act with virtue. Not for applause, not for fame, but simply because it was the right thing to do. Think about that. The emperor of Rome wasn't competing with others. He was competing with his own potential. And if he could live by that standard, so can you. This is where the mindset shift happens. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else, and start comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday. That's the only competition that matters. Because every day you choose to rise a little higher, to push a little harder, you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. So don't wait for life to hand you the perfect moment. Decide today. Decide that you will carry yourself like the best version of you. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. And once you make that decision, every choice, every action, every habit begins to align with the life you know you're capable of creating. That's how transformation begins. Part 2. Acting as if you are the best doesn't mean arrogance. There's a big misconception when we talk about acting like the best. Many people hear that phrase and immediately think of arrogance, of someone walking into a room, chest out, looking down on everyone else. But that's not what it means. Acting like the best isn't about being above others. It's about holding yourself to the highest standards possible. Think about an athlete at the top of their game, or a master craftsman who has spent decades perfecting their art. What sets them apart isn't that they boast about being better than others. It is the discipline, the hours of practice, the relentless commitment to growth. Their confidence doesn't come from ego. It comes from knowing they've poured their heart into sharpening their skills day after day. That's the kind of confidence you want to build. One that doesn't need to shout, one that speaks for itself through action. Because when you carry yourself as if you are the best, you don't need validation from others. You already know the work you've put in. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, is a powerful example of this. He led the mightiest empire of his time, yet he constantly reminded himself to remain humble, to keep learning, to act with virtue. Even at the height of power, he didn't see himself as untouchable. Instead, he saw leadership as service. His greatness came not from arrogance, but from humility tied to excellence. And that's where the real difference lies. Arrogance is when you place yourself above others, believing you're untouchable, unteachable. But acting like the best is entirely different. It is about elevating yourself to your highest potential while staying grounded enough to keep improving. Let me put it simply. Arrogance says, I've arrived. True excellence says, I'm just getting started. When you carry yourself as if you're the best, you set a standard for how you live, how you work, how you show up for others. It doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes. It doesn't mean you'll always win. But it does mean that you're refusing to settle for anything less than what you're capable of. And here's the beautiful part. When you pursue greatness with humility, you inspire others to do the same. People may admire arrogance for a moment, but they respect discipline, growth, and quiet strength for a lifetime. So don't be afraid to act like the best. Just make sure it comes from discipline, not ego, from humility, not pride, from the endless pursuit of who you know you can become. That's how true greatness is built. Part 3. Even if you're not the best yet, you can act like the best. Here is the truth most people overlook. You don't have to already be the best in order to act like the best. You don't need to wait until you've reached the top before you start carrying yourself with confidence, discipline, and purpose. Greatness doesn't begin at the finish line. It begins in the way you show up today. Think about it. Every champion you've ever admired didn't wake up one morning at the peak of their career. They started with the same uncertainty, the same doubts, the same setbacks as everyone else. What separated them was a simple shift in mindset. They decided to act as if they were already capable, already worthy, already prepared to rise to the challenge. And that decision changed everything. When you walk into a room with confidence, when you choose discipline over excuses, when you move with a clear sense of purpose, something remarkable happens. You begin to grow into the very person you're acting like. Your actions shape your identity. Your behavior slowly molds your reality. The Stoics understood this long ago. They believed that our beliefs guide our actions, and our actions shape our destiny. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, you'll behave that way. But if you remind yourself, I can do this, I belong here, I am becoming the best version of myself, then your behavior rises to meet that belief. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine walking into a job interview. If your mindset is, I hope they like me, I'm probably not the best candidate, your nervousness will leak through every word. But if you walk in thinking, I am the right person for this role. I bring value. I am exactly what they need. Suddenly your posture changes, your tone is steady, your answers are confident. The opportunity hasn't changed. You have. This isn't arrogance. This is preparation meeting belief. It's the power of positive self-suggestion, of carrying yourself as if the future you already exists. And here's the best part. The more you act this way, the more it becomes reality. So don't wait until the world calls you the best. Start acting like it now. Confidence, discipline, and purpose are choices you can make today. And those choices are what will transform you into the person you were meant to be. Part 4. Continuous growth. Lifelong learning. One of the greatest truths of life is this: growth never ends. No matter how much you've achieved, no matter how far you've come, there is always another step forward, another layer to uncover, another way to become better. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Think about that. He didn't say, learn until you're successful. He didn't say, learn until you hit a certain age. He said, as long as you breathe, you should be a student of life. The people who truly rise above the rest understand this. The best are never finished. They may reach milestones, but they never stop seeking growth. They treat life itself as the greatest teacher. Every success, every failure, every ordinary day, it all holds lessons if you're willing to look for them. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, ruled an empire. And yet in his private journals, he constantly reminded himself to stay humble, to improve, to never believe he had it all figured out. If an emperor, the leader of millions, saw himself as a work in progress, what excuse do we have to stop learning? So how does this play out in your daily life? It's not just about reading more books or taking more courses. It's about living with the mindset of growth in everything you do. In relationships, it means asking yourself, how can I show up as the best version of me? How can I listen more deeply, love more fully, forgive more easily? With your health, it means acting like the version of yourself who already has energy, strength, and vitality. You don't wait until you're in perfect shape to care for your body. You treat it well today, as if you are already that strong and disciplined person. And with discipline, it means making the choices today that your future self will thank you for. It's skipping the easy shortcut and instead choosing the path that builds character, resilience, and integrity. Because here's the truth. Every moment is a chance to practice becoming better. Every small choice is either moving you closer to your highest potential or pulling you further away from it. The Stoics teach us that humility and greatness go hand in hand. To think you've arrived is to stop growing, but to see yourself as a lifelong student, that's where true mastery is found. So remind yourself daily, you are not done, you are not finished. As long as you are alive, you are still becoming. And the most powerful way to honor this life is to embrace continuous growth, to remain a humble student of the journey, and to live each day as the best version of yourself. Part 5. Habits shape character. One of the most powerful lessons the Stoics gave us is this: we become what we repeatedly do. Seneca reminded us that our lives are not shaped by occasional bursts of effort, but by the habits we build day after day. Think about it. Every action you repeat is like laying a single brick. One brick might not seem like much, but over time, those bricks form the walls of your character, the foundation of your destiny. If you act with discipline every day, you become a disciplined person. If you act with courage every day, you become courageous. And if you act like the best version of yourself, consistently, that is exactly who you will grow into. This is why acting as if you are the best is so powerful. At first, it might feel a little uncomfortable, maybe even forced. But with repetition, it stops being an act. It becomes second nature. For example, imagine you struggle with confidence in conversations. The first time you speak up, your voice might shake. The second time, you may stumble. But if you keep practicing, if you keep showing up as the confident version of yourself, one day you will realize you no longer have to pretend. Confidence has become who you are. The Stoics believe that character is not built in extraordinary moments, but in ordinary routines. It's in the way you greet the morning, the way you treat others, the choices you make when no one is watching. These repeated actions carve out the person you become. And here is the empowering truth. You don't need to wait for motivation or inspiration. You just need to create habits that align with who you want to be, and repeat them every single day. Small, steady actions have a compounding effect. They turn intentions into identity. So ask yourself, what are the habits you are reinforcing today? Are they pulling you closer to the person you want to become, or pushing you further away? Remember, greatness is not built in a single moment. It's built in the quiet repetition of choices, the daily decision to act like the best version of yourself. Over time, those choices stop being something you do and start becoming who you are. Part 6. Facing weakness and failure. Most people misunderstand what it means to act like the best. They think it means pretending to be flawless, hiding weaknesses, or never stumbling. But the truth is the opposite. Acting like the best means having the courage to face your weaknesses head-on, and to see every failure not as an ending, but as a necessary step toward growth. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That's the essence of strength. You may not control what happens to you. You may lose a job, face rejection, stumble in public, or make mistakes. But you do control how you respond. You control whether you let those moments break you or shape you. Seneca took this even further. He said that failure is the greatest teacher. And if you think about it, he was right. Success can make us proud, but failure humbles us. Success gives us comfort, but failure gives us lessons. Every time you fall, you discover where you are weak. And if you're willing to look at that weakness, to train it, to work on it, it becomes your strength. Think about your own life. Maybe you've avoided challenges because you were afraid of failing. But what if the very thing you fear is the thing that would help you grow most? Every weakness is an invitation. If you struggle with discipline, it's an opportunity to practice consistency. If you struggle with fear, it's an opportunity to practice courage. If you struggle with doubt, it's an opportunity to practice faith in yourself. And failure, it's not the end. Failure is not proof that you're unworthy. It's a stepping stone, a part of the process. Every great athlete, every leader, every creator you admire has a trail of failures behind them. What separates them is not luck, but resilience. The choice to rise again, to learn, and to keep moving forward. So when you think of acting like the best, don't picture perfection. Picture strength in the face of struggle. Picture humility when you fall and determination when you rise. Because the best don't avoid weakness, they transform it. The best don't fear failure, they learn from it. And if you can embrace that mindset, then every weakness becomes a training ground, and every failure becomes a lesson leading you closer to the greatness you were meant to achieve. Part 7. Positive influence on others. The Stoics had a powerful concept called sympathia, the idea that all human beings are deeply connected, like threads in the same fabric of life. What you do, how you live, the standards you set for yourself, none of it stops with you. It ripples outward, shaping the lives of everyone around you. This is why raising your own standards isn't just about personal growth. It's about impact. When you choose discipline over excuses, when you choose courage over fear, when you choose to act like the best version of yourself, you silently give permission for others to do the same. Think about the leaders who have inspired you most in life. They didn't have to shout about their greatness, they led by example. They showed up with integrity. They worked hard, they treated people with respect. And because of that, their influence spread far beyond words. That's true leadership. It's not about control. It's about being a living example of what's possible. And here is the beautiful part. This influence is not limited to big stages or high positions. It starts right where you are. When you show patience with your children, they learn patience. When you show discipline at work, your coworkers notice. When you choose kindness in a world that often rewards selfishness, people feel it. These small acts ripple outward, like a stone dropped into a pond. touching family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. We often underestimate how much power we have to inspire. But the truth is, you are always influencing. The only question is, are you influencing others toward strength, resilience, and growth, or toward fear, excuses, and mediocrity? When you carry yourself as if you are the best, not with arrogance but with humility and discipline, you become a living reminder to others of what they can achieve. You set a standard that says, this is possible. This is what's within reach when you choose growth over comfort. So remember, your life is not lived in isolation. Every choice you make either lifts others up or pulls them down. And when you raise your own standards, you don't just change your life. You create a ripple that can change countless lives around you. That's the true power of living like the best version of yourself. It's not just for you. It's for everyone connected to you. Part 8. Daily Practice. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius began each day with a simple but powerful reminder. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to love. Imagine starting every morning with that mindset. Suddenly, the day ahead isn't just another routine. It becomes a gift, an opportunity to live with purpose. Too often, we wait for the perfect conditions before we take action. We tell ourselves, I'll start when I have more time, when I feel ready, when things calm down. But here's the truth. Perfect conditions don't exist. If you wait for them, you'll be waiting your whole life. The Stoics remind us to begin with what we have right here, right now. Daily practice is not about huge, dramatic changes. It's about consistency. It's about choosing one purposeful action today and then repeating it tomorrow and the day after that. Discipline is built in the small, unseen moments when no one is watching and you choose to keep going anyway. Here is a powerful question to ask yourself every morning. What would the best version of me do today? Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Would they show up with patience or with anger? Would they put off their goals or take one step forward? This single question shifts your perspective from hesitation to action. And here's the beauty of it. The more you live with intention each day, the less you'll be controlled by distractions, fear, or excuses. Your days stop blending together, and instead, each one becomes a chance to practice courage, kindness, and discipline. Think of life like a sculpture. Every day you have a chisel in your hand. With each disciplined action, each conscious choice, you are shaping the masterpiece of your life. And like any great work of art, it's not created in one stroke. It's carved patiently, with care, day by day. So don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the right time. Begin today, live today, practice today. Because the best version of you is not built in the future. It is built in the choices you make right now. When we say, act as if you are the best, it's not about arrogance and it's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about choosing to live with discipline, with confidence, with humility, and with a deep commitment to growth. It is about carrying yourself each day as if you are already stepping into the highest version of who you can be. The truth is, greatness is not a single achievement. It's not something you stumble upon by chance. Greatness is built, one decision, one action, one habit at a time. Every choice you make is like a brick, and with each brick you are building the foundation of your character and the direction of your life. Think about it. When you choose courage over fear, you strengthen your spirit. When you choose patience over anger, you sharpen your wisdom. When you choose discipline over laziness, you prove to yourself that you can rise above comfort and excuses. These small, consistent choices create the person you are becoming. The Stoics remind us, life is not about controlling everything outside of us. It is about mastering what is within us. And that mastery comes through daily practice. Not once in a while, not only when it feels easy, but every single day. So here's the challenge. Live today with intention. Carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth. Practice humility, because true strength never needs to shout. And most importantly, never stop improving. No matter where you are right now, you have the power to take one step closer to your best self. Imagine if each morning you reminded yourself, today I will act as if I am the best version of me. What would your day look like? How would you speak, think, and act? That is not a fantasy. It is a choice available to you right now. So don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The best version of you is not a dream. It's a practice. Start today. Step into it today. And with every action, you'll get closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. If today's message spoke to you, don't just let it fade away. Start practicing it. Remember, every small action shapes who you become. If you found value here, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Stoic Habit Builder, and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And before you go, let me leave you with one question. What would the best version of you choose to do right now? Thank you for being here. And until next time, stay strong, stay disciplined, and keep building the habits that shape your destiny.